You are 11 years old, and you are watching your older brother talk a man out of 40 euros on the tram platform in Bucharest. The man is German, a tourist. He has a map open and a confused expression and a kindness in his face that your brother reads in under 3 seconds. Your brother says his wallet was stolen, his mother is sick, he needs to get to the hospital on the other side of the city. He says it in broken English with the right amount of shame. The man gives him the 40 euros and walks toward the tram, and your brother watches him go and turns to you, and he is not sad. He is not ashamed. He is satisfied, the specific satisfaction of a problem solved efficiently. He splits it with you, 20 euros each. You eat maize from a street vendor and walk home, and you do not talk about it. You are 11, and you have just learned something that no school teaches and no parent admits. The world runs on stories. Not facts, not merit, not work. Stories. The man did not give your brother 40 euros because he verified the mother or confirmed the hospital. He gave it because your brother told a story that activated something in him. Pity, guilt, the need to be the person who helped. The story was the product. The euros were the receipt. You will spend the next 20 years refining the product. This is your life at every level of the scam. From the kid on the tram platform eating street food to the man behind a call center in Kuala Lumpur moving millions, every script, every alias, every human being who answered the phone and trusted the voice on the other end. What the voice cost them. What it cost you. Level 1, the apprentice. Your brother teaches you the basics the way a tradesman teaches an apprentice, by making you watch, then making you do, then correcting what you did wrong. The platform scam is entry level. You graduate quickly. You work tourist areas, the Old Town, Uniri Square, the airport arrivals hall. You have a story for each location. At the airport, you are a student whose bag was stolen and who needs bus fare. At Uniraya, you have a sick grandmother and a prescription you cannot fill. You have learned to cry on demand. Not full crying, just the glitter at the eye, just enough moisture that the mark sees it, and something in their chest moves before their brain can intervene. Your weekly income, 300 to 600 lei, $65 to $130. More than your mother makes cleaning offices. You give her 200 lei a month and tell her you work at a restaurant. She does not investigate because the money is real and reality is expensive, and asking questions about pleasant facts costs something she cannot afford. You are 14 and you already understand the architecture of a successful lie. It must be specific. A sick grandmother is better than a sick relative. It must be verifiable in theory, but unverifiable in practice. And it must give the mark a role. Not victim, but hero. Nobody wants to feel used. Everyone wants to feel like the person who helped. Level 2, the phone. A man who runs a small operation from an apartment in Sector 3 recruits you. His name is Radu. He is 31 and wears the same black tracksuit every day and drinks energy drinks at noon and has a way of explaining things that sounds like math. He says, on the street you can reach 40 people a day. On the phone you can reach 400. The operation is simple. You call people in Western Europe, France, Belgium, Germany, pretending to be from a technical support department. Their computer has a virus. You have detected it. If they do not act immediately, their bank data will be compromised. Walk them to a website. Get them to install remote access software. Navigate to their bank portal while they watch. Drain what is drainable. Thank them. Disconnect. Your script is 2 pages. You memorize it in a day. Your accent in French is imperfect, but the fear you create is perfect, and fear does not care about accent. Your first week, 4 successful calls. Combined take, 2,800 euros. Radu gives you 20%, 560 euros for 5 days. You feel the thing you felt when your brother split the 40 euros on the platform. Not guilt, not pride, but a clean mechanical satisfaction. The thing worked. You ran the process, and the process produced the outcome. You are 18, and you have not thought about the people on the other end as people. They are marks. The word, it creates distance. You could not do this job if the word were grandmother, or retired teacher, or person who has been afraid of exactly this for years. The word is mark, and the mark is a variable, and variables do not have grandchildren. Level 3, the scriptwriter. Radu's operation grows. 12 callers in 2 rooms, headsets, a whiteboard with daily targets. He promotes you off the phones because your real value is not your voice. It is your brain. You write better scripts than anyone in the room. You understand something most scammers do not. The script is not about information. It is about emotional sequencing. First, establish authority. You are calling from Microsoft, from the bank's security department, from Interpol's cybercrime division. Then create urgency. The threat is active. It is happening now. There is a window closing. Then offer salvation. But salvation requires their cooperation. Then remove doubt. Have an answer for every objection because every objection is just a different form of fear, and fear, redirected correctly, becomes compliance. You write 12 scripts in 3 months. Conversion rate on your scripts, 11%. Industry average for this type of operation, 4%. Radu raises your cut to 8% of total take. Monthly, €3,200 to €4,800. You move out of your mother's apartment. You rent a one-bedroom in Floriasca. You buy a MacBook with cash. There is a woman named Elena who works the phones, 23 from Iashi, sends money home to 2 younger siblings. She uses your scripts, and she is good. She closes marks with a gentleness that makes them thank her after. She once told you that a man in Lyon cried on the phone and thanked her for helping him before she disconnected. You did not respond. You filed the information. Crying increases compliance. Gratitude means the mark will not report immediately. And you updated the script accordingly. Level 4, the manager. Radu gets arrested outside a McDonald's in Drumel Tabaret. Interpol tip. His laptop is seized. You are not on the laptop because you understood 6 months before his arrest that a manager should never be documented. Your name is nowhere. Your phone number is a SIM registered to a man who has been dead since 2019. You take the operation. Not all of it. 2 of the 12 callers disappear. 2 more are arrested in a separate sweep that has nothing to do with Radu. You rebuild with 8 people in a new location. A rented office in a business park near Autopani Airport, labeled on the intercom as Digital Solutions SRL. The label costs 200 lei and produces an atmosphere of legitimacy that is worth considerably more. You are 24 and you are running a business. You think of it as a business. You have HR problems, callers who underperform, callers who get emotionally compromised, callers who start treating marks as humans and lose the detachment that makes the job possible. You let 2 people go in the first month. Not cruelly, efficiently. You pay them their last week and tell them this work is not for everyone. One of them, a boy named Andre who was 17 and should not have been there in the first place, looks at you on his way out with an expression you have no category for and you do not try to find one. Monthly operation revenue, €180,000. Your share, €42,000. You pay taxes on a consulting firm registered in Bucharest. The ANAF sees a successful young entrepreneur. You are 24. Level 5, the upgrade. Romance scams. A colleague in another city explains the economics. Tech support. Average take per mark, €800. Romance. Average take per mark, €14,000. The difference is time. Romance requires months of investment. But months of investment produces a depth of manipulation that tech support cannot approach. The mark in a romance scam does not just lose money. They lose the story they told themselves about who they were and what they deserve. You build a team of 6 for romance operations. You create identities, LinkedIn profiles, Facebook histories, photographs sourced from obscure corners of the internet where real people have posted real lives that no one will recognize. Your main persona is a Danish civil engineer named Lars Andersen, who works on infrastructure projects in West Africa. The African posting explains why he cannot meet in person. The engineering explains a steady income that makes the financial crisis he will eventually describe more plausible. Lars begins relationships with women in their 40s and 50s, widowed, divorced, lonely in the specific way that broadband internet makes lonelier because connection is promised and delivered as simulation. Lars is patient. Lars is attentive. Lars remembers birthdays. Lars asks about the children, the job, the garden, the things that men in these women's actual lives stopped asking about years ago. You spend 2 hours per day on each active relationship, which is more sustained attention than you have given any real person in years. A woman named Christine, 51, from Utrecht, falls completely. 6 months of Lars. She tells Lars she loves him. Then the crisis. Lars's equipment is impounded by a corrupt official. He needs €7,000 to release it, or he loses the contract. Christine wires the money within 18 hours. She tells no one. She is protecting Lars, who is protecting their future, which does not exist. You receive €7,000 minus 15% transaction fees. You feel nothing about Christine. You have never met Christine. You have met Lars, who is a construction of text and photographs, and Lars is not real, and therefore Christine's grief when Lars eventually stops responding is grief about a fiction, not quite the same as real grief. It is the same as real grief. You know this. You have filed it in the same place you filed Andre's expression on his way out the door. Level 6, the infrastructure. You move to Kuala Lumpur. Not because you are fleeing. The Romanian operation is running cleanly, 3 layers of remove between you and any phone. You move because KL is where the infrastructure is. Call centers operating legally until they are not. A tech community that can build spoofed caller IDs, deepfake voice layers, mass messaging platforms. A geography that makes European law enforcement slow and treaty requirements complicated. You rent a floor of an office building in Petaling Jaya. 42 employees. Real desks, real computers, fake identities on every screen. The office looks from outside and from inside like a legitimate BPO operation. Business process outsourcing, the kind of call center that handles customer complaints for European telecoms. This is not accidental. This is the point. Legitimacy is not a state. It is an aesthetic. If the aesthetic is convincing enough, it delays investigation by months. Your operation now runs 3 streams simultaneously: tech support, romance, and a new category, investment fraud. Cryptocurrency platforms that do not exist. You build them. Full websites, fake trading dashboards, fabricated return histories. The mark deposits money. The dashboard shows them making 22% returns. They deposit more. You show them 31%. They tell their friends. The friends deposit. When total deposits reach a threshold, the platform closes, the website redirects to a parking page, the customer service numbers go silent. One of your investment marks is a retired pharmacist in Manchester named Gerald Okafor, 67. He deposits £4,000. The dashboard shows £6,200 after 3 weeks. He deposits £22,000, his savings. The dashboard shows £34,100. He calls his son and tells him he has found something real. The son deposits £8,000. You show them £51,000 combined. They try to withdraw. The platform tells them they need to pay a 15% release fee to access funds, a fee you invented specifically to extract one final payment before the collapse. Gerald pays the fee, £7,650. Total extracted from Gerald and his son, £41,650. You know Gerald's name because his emails came through your system. You do not think about Gerald. You think about the Q3 revenue figure, which is 2.1 million euros across all streams. Your share, 630,000 euros. You are 30 years old, and you are very good at not thinking about Gerald. Level 7, the heat. Europol publishes an advisory about the investment platform methodology. Interpol issues a red notice for an associate in your network. Not you, someone 2 degrees removed, but 2 degrees is closer than you have allowed anything to get in 3 years. You shut the investment stream for 60 days. You move servers. You change the office address. You rotate the identities. A journalist from a Dutch newspaper publishes an investigation tracing a payment chain. Not to you, but to an entity in the same network. The article includes a photograph of an office building in Petaling Jaya. Your building is 3 kilometers away. The photograph is not your building. You read the article 4 times. You hire a lawyer in Singapore. Retainer, 40,000 Singapore dollars. He specializes in cross-border financial crime defense and has a waiting room with leather chairs and a view of Marina Bay that communicates expensive competence. He says you have no current exposure in any jurisdiction. He says current, and you notice the word, and he notices you noticing. A woman on your staff named Priya, she runs the tech support stream, 28, formerly legitimate IT, recruited through a job board that advertised real salaries for real work, asks you one afternoon, without hostility, what you think happens to the people after the call ends. After the money moves, you tell her the operation is focused on process, not outcome. She nods. She does not ask again. You give her a raise 3 weeks later. Not for the question, you tell yourself. For her conversion numbers. Her conversion numbers have not changed. Level 8, the reckoning. The associate who was 2 degrees removed cooperates with Europol in exchange for a reduced sentence. He does not know your name. He knows an email address and a cryptocurrency wallet. The wallet connects to a mixer. The mixer connects to an exchange. The exchange has a KYC record, know your customer, from 3 years ago when the compliance requirements were different and someone on your team made an error of 2 minutes that produced a document with a name on it that is not your real name but is a name you have used, and the name leads to a registered address in KL, and the address leads to a company, and the company's registered director is a nominee who is, under sufficient legal pressure, findable. You receive a message on an encrypted channel. 4 words. They have the address. You close the laptop. You sit in the office in Petaling Jaya, the real one, not the one in the newspaper, and you look at the 42 people at their desks and you think, they have been in a building that has an address in a document that is now in a folder that is moving through a legal process you cannot stop. You do not tell them. You tell them end of week is a paid holiday. Enjoy. Come back Monday. You know Monday is not coming. Not this Monday, not this office. You fly to Dubai that night. You have a passport. Not Romanian, not the name on the KYC document. The passport is real. Issued legitimately through a citizenship program. The man in the passport is who you are now. The boy from Sector 3 who ate micey on the tram platform is a story that belongs to someone who no longer exists. In Dubai, you sit in a hotel room that costs $680 a night, and you open your laptop and you look at the numbers. 4.3 million euros in accessible accounts. 1.1 million euros in cryptocurrency across 3 wallets. Property in 2 countries under nominee names. Enough to live for many years without working. You open a browser and you search, for the first time, Gerald Okafor Manchester. You find him on a Facebook page, a post from 2 years ago, a birthday photo. He is wearing a paper crown. His son is next to him. both of them laughing at something outside the frame. The son's name is David. He is tagged. You click through. David Okafor, 34, works in logistics, has 2 small children, posted 6 months ago about a difficult year without specifics. You close the browser. You order room service. The burger arrives and you eat it at the desk, and the television is on with the sound off, and the city is lit outside the window the way cities are lit when you are watching them from a height, and they have nothing to do with you. You think about your brother on the tram platform. The 40 euros. The Misi, the satisfaction on his face. The lesson you took from it? The world runs on stories. You built an empire on that lesson, and the lesson is still true. Gerald's story was that he found something real. Christine's story was that Lars loved her. The story you told Andre on his way out the door was that this work was not for everyone. The story you have been telling yourself, about marks and variables and distance, is also a story. You wrote it the same way you wrote the scripts, the same sequencing, authority, urgency, salvation, removal of doubt. You wrote it for yourself, and you were the most effective mark you ever ran.